She asked me what was wrong, and I just told her I must have been stressed from work. So, much to my humiliation, there I lay, naked, in bed, unable to get an erection. I came clean, and I told her what I'd heard. This did not go over well at all. Welcome to another episode of Based on a True Story. My name is Raphael Omar, and today I have a story for you about a guy who he's having some issues with his wife and his wife's past, because this guy's going through it. And you're going to see in a second how easy it is to tear some of these men out here down. I say some because not all men go through what he's going through. But yeah, let's get into it. It was quite by accident that I heard this. We had a group of our friends over, and as the night went on, we all kind of split into smaller groups. Some of us were in one room playing Texas Hold'em, and a couple of others were watching a Lord of the Rings marathon. I thought my fiancée was watching the movies, but she and one of her close friends were actually sitting in the kitchen, drinking coffee and talking. Our group had run out of soda, so I got up to go to the kitchen and get drinks and a couple of snacks. As I'm rounding the corner, I hear my fiancée talking, and before I completely enter the room, I hear her clearly say, "Jason is great, but he will never be the lover that Bill was." She then followed it up with, "It's not really fair to Jason though. Bill was just really gifted down there." At first, I thought about just walking back into the card game and pretending like we didn't have any extra soda or food, but I decided to just kind of make a noise and go in. Her friend caught sight of me rounding the corner, and I could see her make a face to my fiancé, letting her know I was there. Of course, she had no idea I heard her, and she just stopped talking to her friend and asked me how I was doing and if I was having fun. I was tempted to say something like, "I'm having as much fun as someone who's not as gifted down there can," but I didn't. I just said yes and proceeded to get my stuff and go back to finish the night. I acted like nothing was wrong for the rest of the night and went to bed. Needless to say, it messed me up. I mean, it messed me up badly. Is badly a word? I've never been jealous or what you would call insecure about myself until that moment. I couldn't sleep that night, and I went through a myriad of emotions while laying there. At first, I was angry. Then I was humiliated. Then I was depressed. Then I was angry again. Look, I realize that the male ego seems stupid to women, and even to guys who are totally self-assured. I would have agreed with most of this prior to that night, but once it's been damaged, it's a B. It's a B as in it's a B word, just to let you know. I tried to hide any form of emotion about it or ever let her know, but as the days went on, I just kept getting worse and worse. I was avoiding her at all costs, and while she was suspicious, she didn't really say anything. That is, until she attempted to be intimate with me a few days later, and I flat out rejected her. It wasn't a conscious decision on my part, by the way. I had made the decision on my own to just try and get over it, move on, but in the moment, instead of being sexually aroused, I felt deeply inadequate and ashamed. Nothing was happening, no matter how much either of us tried. She asked me what was wrong, and I just told her I must have been stressed from work, but she wouldn't believe that or let it go. So, much to my humiliation, there I lay, naked, in bed, unable to get an erection. I came clean, and I told her what I'd heard. This did not go over well at all. At first, she tried to tell me that I didn't hear her correctly, but I just repeated to her verbatim what she had told her friend. Once she couldn't deny it, she then tried to apologize, and to her credit, she tried to listen to my feelings on the matter, which, once again, I'm sure was more of a big turnoff for her because I was a wreck emotionally. She tried to tell me how much of a better person I was and how I satisfied her and that she wanted nobody else, but all I could hear was Charlie Brown's teacher's noise. It's been almost a month, and I have zero desire to be with her sexually. None. She is now getting frustrated about this as well. But no matter what I have tried, I just cannot get past this. It's not like she said we were both good lovers or anything like that. She clearly said he was far superior. And my guess is that being gifted there means he was significantly larger than me as well. That is not necessarily what that means. I'm starting to think that this guy is the cause of a lot of his own problems, but I digress. Let's get back to it. I know I can do all kinds of things with my hands, tongue, or whatever else, but no matter what I do, I can't grow in size. Obviously, she refuses to talk about that with me, saying that no matter what she says, it will only make things worse because even if she says something positive about me, I won't believe her. She's most likely right. Some backstory here. He dumped her. It was not a mutual breakup. He flat out dumped her and broke her heart. I know this because early on in our relationship, she told me this. She said she wasn't ready to be serious about anybody because her previous ex left her and emotionally broke her. So this is not a case of me even being able to say, well, she's with me because she wants to be. If he hadn't have dumped her, she would have never left him. Now, I have no idea if, after all of these years, she would leave me for him if he ever came back. But I don't think she would. I just don't know what to do here. I can feel myself checking out of the relationship. I know this is petty, but hearing the person you love tell someone else that they prefer to have sex with someone else is just devastating to me. Her telling me all of my good qualities has only made it worse because she's saying things that I think appeal to her and maybe other women. But being told that I'm a good provider and will make a great husband only makes me feel like crap. Like, what would happen if I lost my good paying job? Or better yet, what if I were to get injured and couldn't make anything more than state assistance? Would she be there to support and help me? Basically, what I feel like right now is a really good friend who she just allowed to have sex with her. I know in my head that this is not correct, but in my heart, this is what I feel. I'm sorry for the length here, ironic, and I don't even know what I'm asking here. I'm totally lost. And if this continues, I think I'm just going to break our engagement. So that was the post, but he gave an update after posting this originally. Let's see what he has to say. People have been asking me about the relationship with the ex and how I know she was heartbroken. We met about 9 months after they separated. I know that ultimately he wanted to be with someone else, although she has claimed he never cheated. He just ended things so he could be with another woman. She approached me at a local workshop and we started dating. On our 4th date, when things started to get physical, she broke down crying about her ex. If that's not a red flag, I don't know what to tell you, my guy. You are the problem. You are the reason for most of your problems here. It was certainly weird to hold someone while they cried about someone else, but I did it. Jesus Christ, this guy. Oh boy. Okay. We sporadically dated for a couple more months, during which time I never tried to cross any boundaries physically because it was obvious she wasn't over him. Yeah, it's pretty obvious when you're holding her while she's crying about him. See, this is why, let me just stop. So while we just went out on dates, I tried to keep myself in the mindset that we were just friends because I didn't want to commit either. That's a lie. You're lying to yourself now. Let me reread that again. So while we just went out on dates, I tried to keep myself in the mindset that we were just friends because I didn't want to commit either. You're lying to yourself and you're lying to her. You did want to commit and you did want to get physical, which is why you kept going out on dates with her, even after she's crying in your arms about another guy who broke her heart. Men, am I right, ladies? After close to 2 months, she dragged me from my car to her apartment and began to tell me how much she appreciated my patience with her and how she felt stupid about dragging me along for so long. Obviously, that was our first night together. Within 3 months of that, she was telling me that she loved me. So yes, she was still hung up on her ex for a fact when we got together. I had thought, or at least hoped, she was over him before this happened. So that's the end of his post. This is one of those situations where you are really making the situation worse for yourself. Let me give you a bit of advice here, okay? If a woman tells you that her ex was her best, let that stuff roll right off your back, because what she's telling you is her ex was her best up until that point. He was her best until now, but it doesn't mean that she can have better. You could be the better, even despite what you feel to be your deficiencies, down there. If I could just rant for a little bit. One thing that I found out dealing with women is, guys, we think that it's what's in our pants that makes it the best, right? But I've come to realize that with women, it's what's between their ears that makes it the best. If you can stimulate her mind and her emotions, and if you could take her on a journey mentally, create a story for her to get involved in, give her a character that she can play, you can easily become her best. You can become so great that she forgets this guy and is totally stuck on you because you've given her an experience that no other guy has given her. You should be thankful. You should be thankful that she was talking about what's in his pants, because that lets you know that whoever this other guy is wasn't stimulating her mind. And that's just a huge open gate for you to walk through and to give her an experience that she's never had before. But you ain't gonna do it. You know why? Because you're too concerned about what's in your pants and not about what's in her mind. Stimulate her mind, man. Let me tell you, you get into her mind, you're gonna unlock, let me try to keep this PG. You're gonna see a side of her that you didn't even know existed. And she's gonna see a side of her that she didn't even know existed. But you gotta be up here. You gotta be focused up here and not down there. Trust me. Don't ask me how I know, but I know. Let's get to the comments. Deleted says, man here, I once messed up by saying something that made my girlfriend of the time feel self-conscious sexually. She very quickly checked out of the relationship, and I don't blame her one bit because it was my own damn fault. It's not a male ego thing. Nobody wants to feel less than. And when sex is involved, self-esteem is crucial. You can't be with someone who makes you feel unsexy, and nothing you can do can help you force yourself to ignore it. That's legit. Yeah, I don't think this is a male ego thing as far as feeling inadequate. I think it's a self-delusion thing. You don't realize that you have a lot more power than the last guy, but that power isn't between your legs. Kanye West 1 says, good thing you overheard this conversation before you got married. Good thing you overheard this conversation before you got married. Well, he already knew the situation before they even got engaged. In fact, he already knew the situation before they even got into a relationship. He was holding her while she was crying about her ex. This isn't new news to him. He was trying to get in them draws. He just didn't want to admit it to himself. It looks like the OP actually added another response here. So he had gotten a lot of responses to this story, and he needed to clarify a few things. Let's see what he has to say in his clarification response. I've had so many people post on the original thread, and twice as many people send me DMs telling me to hit the weight room and get in shape and transform myself into some form of weightlifting god. Of course, the internet would tell you to do that. Here's the problem for those people. I was a state finalist in wrestling in high school and got a partial scholarship to a Division II school for wrestling. I competed both my freshman and sophomore years. To this day, I still lift and do cardio at my local gym. Now, this leads me to want to focus on a couple of things. You will notice I said girlfriend. Contrary to what some of you have said or implied, I was not some incel or neckbeard prior to meeting my fiance. I've had several girlfriends and yes, even a couple of NSA relationships. NSA relationships? What is an NSA relationship? In other words, prior to this, while I may not have been the world's most confident guy, I never felt like it was an issue. I've never, ever had another woman say something like this in earshot of me about me. I mean, did they say it when I couldn't hear? I have no idea. Now, does me having this mental breakdown over this make me a man-child, weak, or straight up pussy? Possibly. As I've been called? I don't know. Maybe. Hell, probably. But bluntly speaking, I've never had anything like this happen to me before. Every breakup I've ever gone through was, for the most part, mature. I had a very childish breakup in high school, but does that even count? Also, to all the geniuses that keep telling me to learn a new technique or practice or just plain get better at sex, that's not the issue here, guys. She didn't say that I couldn't work on the issue at hand. She straight up told her friend that I would never be able to measure up, so to speak, because of a physical attribute that I can do nothing about. Listen, it has nothing to do with your physical attribute. I could become an Oriental lick master. An Oriental lick? Oriental? Oh, is this guy Asian? Oh, snap. I mean, not that, there's anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's just, he said Oriental. So I'm assuming, and he's talking about the size of his, if the rumors are true, you might be in for some trouble, my guy. I could become an Oriental lick master. That's so weird. And at the end of the day, I am never going to be able to finish her by jackhammering with what I can only imagine must be a 9-inch dong. Sir, please stop fantasizing about another man's dong, which then brings me to the biggest thing I want to get off my chest. There are several other posts, both men and women, and ironically gay males over 30 who have a subreddit that I guess I'm a topic on, who have said it's just sex. This man is all over Reddit getting roasted by men, women, and gay males over 30. Well, those words don't exist in my vocabulary for someone I love. I admit that I had a couple of NSA partners in grad school, but even with them, I developed feelings and had to part because I could not just do that. What is NSA partner? I don't do one-night stands, and since my mid-20s, I've only participated in sex via a relationship. I found out I'm not just capable of just having sex. Listen, man, at least you know that about yourself. A lot of people don't know that about themselves. Do I need to be my fiance's best ever? Well, why the hell should I not want that? If you would have asked me before that night, I would have thought I was, but now I know that I'm not. I'm not really okay with the fact that I can never measure up. I mean, if I could work on something and improve something or okay, blah, blah, blah. So he doesn't feel like he can measure up. Hopefully in the next relationship, you realize that there's more to you than what's in your pants. That's the story I got for you today. I appreciate you guys for staying and watching. We make movies. I know I say that in every video. We make movies on this channel. And I think they're pretty dope. Go check them out. Let me know what you think. Text me. Call me. Just hit me up. Hey, Raphael, I saw the film you made. It was dope. I'm going to be like, thank you. Until next time, I'm out.